Next up on the Cosmic News Network, First Contact with Joshua Putt.
Good morning, Earthlings. How you doing today? Welcome back to First Contact Radio. Today is Thursday, the 28th of April. 28th of April. Can you believe that May is just right around the corner? I mean, these months, they're just zipping by. Zipping by. So the 28th, we have a moon sign right here in Capricorn. Our sun sign is in Taurus. Just like yesterday, a little refresher. Taurus, Hierophant, Earth sign. Hooking together the spiritual with the physical. Hebrew letter Va means nail or hook, so you're hooking together the spiritual with the physical. Moon sign, the unconscious desires. Seeing past illusion. Okay? Seeing past the physical world to realize there's more beyond it. So when you're seeing things in the physical reality, not necessarily what's really going on behind the scenes. Okay, so we're taught to look past the illusion of the physical world. Don't take it at face value because it might not be exactly what it appears to be. Some of the other aspects we're dealing with, the first one took place as a conjunction between Pluto, which brings deep transformation, and Capricorn took place at 4:21 a.m. The next aspect's coming up at 11:59 a.m., which is a square that brings Uranus into the mix. Uranus wants to bring something surprising, unexpected into the change, a lesson of some sort. And we have a nice sextile here between Mercury, the communicator, and that wounded aspect of ourselves. So learning how to communicate and heal ourselves, very important. So we get into the afternoon, 3:53 p.m. Mercury is in a trine with Capricorn. So again, bringing that ability to communicate to the unconscious, through looking at the various ways that energy is manifesting and seeing past the physical to see something more, communicating that more. And then finally, 4:12 p.m., we have Chiron again back in the mix, and Chiron and Capricorn together are dealing with healing the things that we think are there but really aren't. So sometimes we get caught up in illusions and we think that we're in a situation kind of like this situation here. The illusion. They think they're trapped, chained to this box, but that's not the case. They're only chained there because they've been led to believe that with their minds. The reality is, the physical reality, they're not trapped to it. And so that is in life our situation. Sometimes we think we're trapped. Sometimes we think we're caught up in a situation. And when we look at it clearly, we realize we're not caught up, we're not trapped at all. It's just all an illusionary situation. Kind of like what's going on in the world. We could look at it, we could feel that we are at the mercy of everything that's happening, but we really have much more control than we realize because we're all connected to spirit, and that's the secret. That's the whole key. Okay? The whole key is that spirit is there that flows through us, and as we allow ourselves to bring that forth, it brings the clarity so we see past all of these illusions. We realize the things we're not caught up in, and we realize the things that we are a part of. So that's what's going on with Capricorn. It's definitely dealing with the physical world and making progress in the physical world, but we have to see past that. Moon phase is currently 65.7% of the way. Making our way to the new moon coming up on the 6th, which is 1 week from Friday. On the Jewish calendar today is 20 Nisan 20 Nissan. It's the 5th day in the Omer count, beginning day 6 starting this evening. It is still during the Passover season. The daily thought for today is future miracles. The miracles of Egypt were an infinite light breaking into our world. The miracles of the future will be our world shining an infinite light outward. The miracles will be our world shining an infinite light outward. Okay, that's allowing that light within us to emanate, to shine forth. Dreamspell Oracle, we're at a jumping point. It's the last day of the wave spell of the mirror reflection. Today's about love, loyalty, heart, jumping. We're going to jump off to the next phase, which begins tomorrow, another wave spell with another 13-day theme. And if we look here to see what comes after the dog, right here, it's the monkey. So this is where we're headed tomorrow. Tomorrow is the monkey day, and our theme for 13 days will be the monkey. So today we're the dog. Love, loyalty. The phrase for today is I endure in order to love, transcending loyalty. I seal the process of heart with the cosmic tone of presence. I am guided by the power of timelessness. Solar wind currently 426.8 kilometers per second. Planetary K index quiet at a 2. Might get up to a 3 over the next 24 hours. Large coronal hole starting to open up in the middle of the sun. Actually, several of them from top to bottom. Notification that around the 1st and 2nd we're going to be feeling effects from that. M-class flare possibility as well as the X, both at 1%. Geomagnetic storm activity in the mid-latitudes is increasing. It's gone from 10% up to 40 over the next 24 to 48 hours. And in the upper latitudes from 20 to 60. So that's quite a jump that's being made. So we're getting ready to have some activity around us energetically. And finally, looking up at the sky tonight, we've got our moon, Sagittarius below the moon. At nightfall, Jupiter is high in the south and Arcturus high in the east-southeast due to the two brightest points on their side of the sky. The brightest star below them is Spica. Okay, so there you go. That's our cosmic weather. It's important every day that we look and understand what is the energy around us. Okay, the planets and the stars, the astrology, has nothing to do with anything bad. All it has to do with looking at the energetic patterns of the day so we can understand what is the energy that we're moving around within and how are we being manipulated, if you will. Because one of the things that we recall when we go over and think about the Nag Hammadi texts and the various books and writings they found from there was that this realm that is out there and our opportunity to move forward exists because we have this flow emanating through us. Yet the challenge is to be able to do so in a world that is distracting us from keeping us doing that. As we look around in the world these days, we see lots of illusion, don't we? A lot of illusion playing itself out. But is that really what's taking place in front of our eyes, what we're seeing? Probably not. There's something more going on behind the scenes that we're unaware of. And so that's why it's important for us just to keep moving along the path, not to get caught up in all of the distractions. We need to pay attention on a daily basis. What is the energy that is around us so we don't get pushed around by it, but that we can maneuver our way through it. And that's really the whole secret, being able to maneuver our way through the energies around us and be more effective in our lives. And the way we do that is simply by being aware of what is taking place around us. It's not really all that difficult when we really get down to understanding the solutions. Mainly, it's just paying attention. Paying attention. Okie doke. Okie doke. UFO news is up next.
This is the UFO News with Joshua Poet.
All right, Dirk. Thank you very much. Today, 5 sightings. First one, Mysterious green UFO in Southern California sky baffles onlookers. There's our light right there. Object in question. So I have a strange feeling that on the night of April 27th, several mysterious planes landed in the area where the UFO crashed. What is this? What is this? I don't know if that's where that's supposed to be. A green light streaks across the sky over Southern California, left the witnesses baffled, and even experts were short on firm answers as to the cause of the display. Several residents of the San Bernardino County and the surrounding region reported spotting the mystery green light in the sky between 9:30 p.m. and 10 p.m. Tuesday. At least one resident shared dashboard camera footage of the mystery light. Dr. Edwin Krupp of the Griffith Observatory said the green light may have been interplanetary debris that caught fire to create a meteor while entering the atmosphere. He said the object may have also been a man-made debris from a previous space launch. Krupp said there's a strong possibility that the object completely burned up in the atmosphere, meaning it may never be conclusively identified. Okay, or it could be something else. It could be something else. Daytime UFO flying above Turin, Italy. This was on the 25th. I just received this interesting footage of a possible flying saucer flying across the daytime sky in Turin, in Italy. This happened April 25th, 2016. Alright, Sinister's flashing little light here decides to let itself play. We shall see what this is. Because that's not it, folks. That's not it. Alright, doesn't seem like it wants to play, does it? Well, I guess you're going to have to just follow the link and read this. Because for whatever reason, it doesn't want to play. Alright, moving on. Here's a story at UFO Digest. Says TR3B or UFO. Let's find out what this article has to say. It says the TR3B is a code named ASTRA. The tactical reconnaissance TR3B first operational flight was in the early 90s. The triangular-shaped nuclear-powered aerospace platform was developed under top-secret Aurora program with SDI and black budget monies. At least 3 of the billion-dollar-plus TR3Bs were flying by 1994. The Aurora is the most classified aerospace development program in existence. The TR3B is the most exotic vehicle created by the Aurora program. It is funded and operationally tasked by the National Reconnaissance Office, the NSA, the CIA. The TR3B triangle is not fiction. It was built with technology available in the mid-80s. Not every UFO spotted is one of them. The TR3B vehicle's outer coating is reactive to electrical radar stimulation and can change reflectiveness, radar absorptiveness, and color. The polymer skin, when used in conjunction with the TR3B's electronic countermeasures and ECCM, can make the vehicle look like a small aircraft or a flying cylinder, or even trick radar receivers into falsely detecting a variety of aircraft, no aircraft, or several aircraft at various locations. A circular plasma-filled accelerator ring called a magnetic field disruptor surrounds the roundtable crew compartment and is far ahead of any imaginable technology. Sandy and Livermore Laboratories developed the reverse-engineered MFD technology. The government will go to any lengths to protect this technology. The plasma mercury-based is pressurized at 25,000 atmospheres at a temperature of 150 degrees Kelvin and accelerated to 50,000 RPM to create a superconductive plasma with the resulting gravity disruption. The MFD generates a magnetic vortex field which disrupts or neutralizes the effects of gravity on mass within proximity by 89%. Do not misunderstand. This is not anti-gravity. Anti-gravity provides a repulsive force that we can use for propulsion. The MFD creates a disruption of the Earth's gravitational field upon the mass within the circular accelerator. The mass of the circular accelerator and all the mass within the accelerator, such as the crew capsule, avionics, MFD systems, fuels, crew, environmental systems, and nuclear reactor, are reduced by 89%. This causes the effect of making the vehicle extremely light and able to outperform and outmaneuver any craft yet constructed, except, of course, those UFOs that we did not build. Okay, very good. Very interesting. All right, here's a story. 3 UFOs caught by Area 51 military base. Footage has surfaced of 3 UFO ships hovering over Area 51. Where else would UFOs be hanging out? The federal government and the military remain silent. Could it simply be specialized aircraft the military has been secretly testing? Dreamland, the special code word for the infamous Area 51, has been a hotbed for innovative air and space technology. It is kind of like the government version of Google or SpaceX. Are the 3 UFO ships real? And why daylight? Traditionally, aliens prefer night flying, so we think. Okay, the footage of 3 UFO ships hovering over Area 51 could have been a government and military mistake. Section 51 posted the UFO video recorded this month on YouTube. They are narrow, designed like inverted raindrops with lights. In the video, one is clearly visible while the other 2 are faded into the background. If this were a secret military test flight, wouldn't it be under the cover of darkness? That always seems to be the protocol for UFO sightings as well. There have been no official reports of government officials over the video, and you probably won't expect one. So why is Area 51 still so UFO attractive? Well, is there some type of alien beacon that draws the extraterrestrial spaceships? Since 1955, Area 51 has been the home of alien-inspired cover-ups and conspiracy theories. The top secret base is 6 miles wide, 10 miles long, with a recently acquired 85,000 acres surrounding it, courtesy of the government seizure. Like Las Vegas, which is close to the base, what happens at Area 51 stays at Area 51. And if you attempt to get close, you will be most likely shot by private military contractors with a green light to kill. There are also rumors of underground structures, labs, and experimental equipment dug deep into the earth. Sounds like an episode of Lost. Some of the military's most advanced aircrafts have been birthed from Area 51, making its existence even more confusing. Aliens or war machines? Finally, it says alien tech for Mars missions. Is Area 51 testing a mission-ready spacecraft for the upcoming Mars mission? It would be the logical place for the government and military to design, produce, and test such space-age stuff. If all the alien rumors are true, then there are plenty of used UFO parts that can be useful at Area 51. Since it is sort of like a junkyard, you pull it for UFOs. The 3 UFO ships on the recently released video may be tests for future Mars mission. NASA has already said that they would be using real-time analytical systems for the 2020 mission to the Red Planet, where they will focus on finding evidence of an ancient Martian civilization. Okay, so we're going to go explore this other planet. So they say, but we can't even explore our own planet. So you tell me, are we really going out there? Or are we just being bamboozled? And finally, one last story. Mystery mushroom cloud filmed billowing from Area 51 alien base. This took place just the other day. Investigators trying to uncover details about what goes on inside the mysterious top-secret U.S. military base Area 51 stumbled across what they believe was a massive fire at the secretive base. The couple who posted the video on YouTube were stunned by the huge plume of dark smoke that appeared to form a mushroom cloud when viewed from afar. The pair, called Jimmy and Jackie, drove through the Nevada desert to the base that the U.S. government only confirmed existed in 2013, despite being one of the country's worst-kept secrets, and spotted the smoke while approaching from Groom Road. Jimmy said in the video, "We're still driving down Groom Road. We noticed that there is like weird smoke over there. What could be going on?" When they reached the main gate, which has a warning sign not to cross, there was another group of 4 people watching the smoke who were being monitored by a white security Jeep parked up the hill. Some conspiracy theorists claim the authorities conceal evidence of aliens visiting Earth from the public within the base. It's been claimed a UFO, a flying saucer complete with aliens, said to have crashed near Roswell, New Mexico in 1947, taken and stored there for examination. Some suggest that they try to reverse engineer alien spacecraft, but more grounded researchers claim it's just a testing site for the new aircraft technologies. Okay, so this is the clip here, and as we okay, and this is what they were seeing right there. And there you have it. That is our UFO news for today. So I'm going to jump away momentarily. I'll be back, and we'll continue on. Let's jump and listen to, how about Great Spirit today? Here we go. I'll be back.
Come into our circle, Great Spirit. Fill our souls with peace.
Continue on. Continuing on. All right, this is, well, before I jump into this, so we've got a lot of illusions going on in the world, okay? So you can obviously see how it's playing out if you just pay attention. I mean, here in this, political election that's going on, we're seeing a lot of craziness, aren't we? On one side of the fence, we have a socialist, and we have a woman who is under investigation. Yet they're both running for office. We're not a socialist country, and we usually try not to put criminals in office, but we have no other option if we go to that side of the fence to either pick the criminal or the socialist. On the other side of the fence, you've got all kind of illusions going on. Yesterday we saw the guy who continually is placing in second or third place announce his vice presidential candidate. I don't think anybody's really told him that he understands he doesn't have a chance to win the nomination unless, of course, something shady happens, and he seems to be considering that possibility and preparing for it. There's an article out today, a reminder of something Boehner had said where he referred to Ted Cruz as Lucifer, which is kind of funny because a lot of people thought things like that about Boehner as well. Just shows you that the whole lot of them are really not very quality individuals that are out for Americans. If only Americans could see that, If Americans can just see through the BS that's taking place. And I wonder if people are doing that right now. Are Americans really catching on that this political system is rigged? Are they catching on that this isn't just the first time that it's been rigged like this, but it's been like this for a while? Is that hitting home with Americans, or are they still, blind to all of that? Because there's a lot of folks out there that really believe that the Bush regime was right on, and they don't want to think that there was anything bad going on, but they were just as corrupt. There was cheating going on. We know of elections that were stolen by Mr. Bush. We know of problems that took place beforehand with other presidents. So what's taking place isn't new. It's just a continual passing of the guard from one disreputable president to the next. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, we have the shadow government running things. So everything's really all illusionary. But what's nice now is that people are getting an opportunity to see what's going on. Whether you like Donald Trump or not, one thing you need to recognize and acknowledge is that he's been changing the political landscape as he goes, because he's bringing up questions that aren't normally asked. And as these questions are brought up, I'm actually seeing the mainstream media channels address some of these questions, like the questions of the voting and the delegates. That hasn't come up before like this, and now they're talking about it. Now there are more people paying attention to these events on a regular basis. And so where we see those trying to cheat and put out disinformation, instantly there are those who are countering that with truthful information of what's going on. So we just need to really look at things with from an objective standpoint. We need to look at what's going on and see what's illusionary, what's not. Okay? We're smart people. We really are. And we have the ability to make great decisions. We just get caught up and led to believe that we can't. It's like this election process. We're so used to having the lesser of two evils and expecting that that's what our only options are, that here, now that we have somebody telling us we can win, it sort of, meets with a strange attitude on our part, because we're not normally told we can win unless we're seeking out that sort of thing, motivational speakers and things of that nature. But generally, the American people as a whole aren't told that we can win by our leaders. And now we have somebody telling us we can win, and we can win a lot. And that's hard for a lot of people to deal with because they've been so beaten down. We just have to keep trusting and keep believing that we can win, that we can rise to the occasion. That's what the challenge is right now. Not to continue to be beaten down, because if we make the wrong choice in this process, if we don't pay attention and they continue to move forward and subvert the will of the people, it can be a big problem in this country. Now, the reason, in my opinion, that all of this is going on is because we've allowed our government to push God out of the mix. Just push him out. You can tell that when we have a government that really isn't about God by the way that they behave. We could certainly tell that Obama isn't about God. He's all about the Muslims. He's about who the Muslims honor and what they're about. I don't believe anything he says about believing in anything else other than that, because his actions speak louder than his words. So from year to year to year, we see this pushing away of God. And when God is pushed out of a society, eventually it leads to the society collapsing, because the word God may simply just be a word, but that word means a lot of different things. And ultimately, we trace that word back to understanding it as the source of all things. Along the way, there were different names that were assigned to beings who were using this source or felt this source flowing through them. They weren't the be-all end of God, the be-all end all. They were just those who were moving the process along. And along the way, when somebody gets power, sometimes they claim a little bit more than what that they should be. So there were those who have claimed to be God along the way, which they weren't. So that's the problem. We have books, we have stories about beings that weren't God, that were claiming to be God, and we read these books and we think that's real, and that gives us a bad reputation. So when we think of God and we're only thinking of those concepts of God that are the ones that walked on the earth, the man-made ones, it gives us a different perception, and it's hard for us then to jump back and to realize that God is beyond all of that. And maybe it's the terminology. That's why I like to use God or Great Spirit or Divine Providence, nature, the force, the universe. You know, it's just something in understanding that there's a much bigger essence at play here. And I think all the key can be found through reading the books of the Apocrypha, the Gnostic Gospels, because they let us know of the something more. They allow us an opportunity to see past this illusion, past the veil. And that's where the secret is, to see past the veil. Because if we recall the story of Sophia and Yaldabaoth, what happened after Yaldabaoth was born? He was cast out, and Sophia put a veil between the immortal realms where she was and the mortal realms where Yaldabaoth was. And so that veil is what keeps us here in this realm, because we are in the realm where Yaldabaoth is. We have this veil that keeps us from seeing past that veil into the immortal realms. So that's why all the teachings are here to remind us and tell us that's there, and the faithfulness that we are expected to process and utilize. It's all about what's on the other side of that veil, the immortal realms. And this is all described very specifically when we get into the books of the Nag Hammadi library. Over and over and over again, it talks about these realms and the veil that is put up between that realm and this one. So, God's very important. We need to keep God in the mix. Jesus is very important. I like to refer to Jesus by his name of Yeshua. Yeshua came to show us how we escape this system, how we get out of this. That the skin suit isn't able to trap God. And so, through the process of his life and then the story of the resurrection, we get an example showing us that we are not trapped in these bodies, that we can easily move out of them. We simply need to have the faith that we have the ability to do that, that it is the divinity, the gift given to us. So putting God in is very important. We all have access to this. I bring up God because, well, God is most important. And here is a story that is encouraging. Comes from us from Breaking Christian News. The entire Bible will be read aloud May 1st through the 5th on the steps of the U.S. Capitol in the 27th Annual U.S. Capitol Bible Reading Marathon. This comes to us from Reverend Michael Hall. So on the first day of the 7th month, Ezra the priest brought the law before the assembly, which was made up of men and women who were all able to understand. He read it aloud from daybreak till noon as he faced a square before the water gate in the presence of the men and the women and others who could understand, and all the people listened attentively to the book of the law. It comes from Nineveh 8, verses 2 through 3. The 27th Annual U.S. Capitol Bible Reading Marathon begins 6 p.m. Sunday, May 1st. For 90 continuous hours, beginning with the reading of Genesis, every word of the Bible will be read aloud and without commentary, culminating at noon, Tuesday, May 5th, with the reading of the final chapters. Thursday, May 5th, with reading the final chapters of the book of Revelation. During these 5 days, hundreds of Bible believers will travel to the west front of the U.S. Capitol to read a portion of the Bible, to listen and to pray. The U.S. Capitol Bible Reading Marathon began in 1990. The event serves to honor the Bible, celebrate religious freedom, and unite the diverse branches of Christianity around the Bible. There will be 100 English and foreign language versions of the Bible available to be read. All right, so very cool, very cool. Now, a lot has transpired in the world over the course of this last year. So the question is this event going to go off without a hitch? or there are going to be those out there protesting. Most likely there'll be some people out there protesting because we seem to be in the world now where people are protesting about all kind of things. So it wouldn't surprise me one bit. All right, here's an article I thought would be pretty interesting for you to understand. The brain's incredible dictionary. Amazing map shows exactly where we store thousands of words until we need them. When thinking of a word, it may seem like its meaning is plucked from the ether, but new research has revealed that the brain uses a highly organized system for storing words based on their meaning and their context. Scientists in the U.S. have produced a semantic atlas that pinpoints where in the brain definitions of individual words are stored in stunning detail that could lead to a map of the brain that helps experts decode people's inner thoughts. The mesmerizing atlas shows that words in vivid colors and multiple dimensions and has been dubbed a brain's dictionary. The model shows that rather every word has its own chunk of brain real estate. Networks of words are grouped together. Different parts of the brain are given over to different tasks, such as vision, hearing, or emotional processing. For understanding language, this is called the semantic system and was believed to be largely based on near the back of the brain. In order to focus on the semantic system and to explore how the brain accesses definitions, scientists at the University of California, Berkeley recorded brain activity of volunteers as they listened to narrative stories. But the team was surprised to find activity across the brain. As volunteers listened to 2 hours of audio stories, their brains actively were captured through functional MRI scans. The scan showed increased blood flow to different regions of the brain, which coincided with when the words were spoken, indicating that this is where the brain was going to for the definitions and context. By splitting them to the surface into tiny cubes, the team was able to produce the detailed atlas of activity for groups of words. For example, the word top was seen to trigger activity in the middle frontal gyrus of a specific context, but it is found to trigger activity at multiple locations around the brain. It is clustered in areas and associated words depending on the context. So one region is active when top refers to the clothing or appearance, while another region is active when top is used in the context of numbers and measures or buildings and places. What's more, the models that show the brain regions relating to meanings of visual characteristics are located closely to related functional regions. All right, very cool. You could see that there is more to the article. Pretty fascinating, though. There's so much more than what we realize to this brain. I mean, this is quite the unit that's up here. It's a computer. It's a computer that's running the whole show. And the mysterious force that flows through it, of course, spirit, God. So, the body. Now, sometimes our bodies get sick. Sometimes they get tired. Sometimes we need to do things to rejuvenate them. Because we are living in a physical reality. We could deny the physical reality 100%. We could lay in a bed all day long and completely ignore that we are in a physical body here in a physical world. But that seems like it would be pointless because we are here for some specific reason. I keep going back to the thought that if the reason or the thing that I'm here to do could be done by God and God wanted to do them without me, there would be no reason for me to be here. So the fact that I'm here means that there's a purpose. And I will continue to remain here like everybody else until their purpose or reason for being here is fulfilled. Sometimes it's a lesson to learn. Sometimes it's a group of lessons. Sometimes it's here to assist others. Whatever the case may be, we're all here together in this physical reality and need to deal with the physical reality. Part of the process is understanding that the physical reality is illusionary to the big picture that includes spirit, fire, water, air, all coming together in the earth process. So This is an article here that talks about the body, talks about taking care of the body in the physical world, how to detox each organ and never be sick or tired again. So again, it's learning how to work with energy. That's what all of this is. Detoxing is just working with the energy that's within each of these areas. Blood, liver, lymph, gallbladder, kidneys, intestines, pancreas. This is from Family Life Goals. It is important that we learn how to detoxify our organs and ensure that we are fit and well at all times. There are 7 vital organs that need to be detoxified regularly for us to remain healthy. Let's look at these organs. The liver. Detoxify your liver by taking carrots, beets, vegetables, apples, grapefruits, and garlic. Fried foods weaken, especially weaken your liver, so avoid them as much as possible. Your gallbladder. Eat food rich in fiber, eat vegetables, fruits, and drink lots of water. Your gallbladder is essential for digestion and works with your liver. Avoid foods that are high in sugar and fats like processed foods. Blood. Blood is not an organ, but because it is responsible for conveying oxygen, minerals, and vitamins to all of your organs, it is important that it is detoxified regularly. You can cleanse your blood using blood cleansers such as red clover, chaparral, burdock root, poke root, yellow dock root, golden seal root, Oregon grapefruit, bloodroot, mistletoe, cayenne, sheep sorrel, and cat's claw. These herbs are effective in detoxifying your blood. The lymph. Just like blood, it is not an organ, but by keeping your lymph detoxified, you keep your skin glowing, bright, and healthy. Drink plenty of water, stay clear of processed foods, and be able to maintain a healthy and glowing skin. Pancreas. Your hormones are regulated by this organ. To avoid imbalance in your hormones as well as the other health conditions, it's important that you detoxify your pancreas. You can do these following simple steps. Try water and lemon juice in the morning. A glass of lemon juice and warm water are good for your pancreas. Pineapples, papaya juice, kiwi are also good. A hot shower or bath will work wonders for your pancreas. And also try to maintain a stress-free lifestyle as much as possible. This will help you maintain a good hormonal level and keep your pancreas from being intoxicated. Kidneys. The kidneys help get rid of water and other toxins through a filtration process from your bloodstream. You can take juices like lemon, cranberry, and beet to help detoxify your kidneys. And finally, your intestines. You can detoxify your colons by reducing inflammation and stomach irritability in the following ways. Take fresh fennel seed, ginger root, and cayenne fruit, as they will help to cleanse your colon. Ginger will reduce any inflammation in your intestinal tract, while the cayenne can relieve you of constipation and stomach aches, while fennel eliminates gas in your stomach. It's important to note that your intestinal health is vital if you want to avoid digestive issues such as hemorrhoids, Crohn's disease, and constipation. Okay, so there you go. Cleansing and detoxifying the body. It's important, you know. We're moving around in this world. There are all sorts of distractions. These distractions can be in the form of words that distract our mind. It could be in the form of foods that affect our bodies. It can be in, anything that distracts the natural flow and process of energy through our body can be a distraction. So what we're looking to do in all cases is eliminate these distractions. And all we're doing is we're looking for the different ways in which to improve the energy around us. Sometimes there's things distracting us from using our energy fully, so we remove those distractions, whether it is food or whether it is some other circumstance. We can eliminate those distractions so we can move through life clear, focused, healthy mind, healthy body. Okay? Okay. Moving onward. Here's an article about communicating with our spirit guides. Very important. I know we all are looking to communicate to get guidance from around us. This is by Kelly Fitzgerald. Everyone has spirit guides, angels, familiars, elementals, whatever label you would like to attach to yours. They do not mind what we call them, and they don't even care if we acknowledge that they exist. They are beings made of pure love and light who exist solely to assist us. Learn to communicate with yours, and you will be amazed at the difference it makes in your life. I'm often asked, how do we go about communicating with these beings? And here is just one method I've taught others to do. The technique I found is to be the simplest for most people is to go outside, pick up the first two pebbles you are drawn to. The only criteria is they fit well in your hand and they can fit into your pocket. Of course, you can use crystals, sticks, or whatever else you choose. The point is to have two separate items, one which will be your yes item, the other will be no. For this text, I use the word pebbles. Start by closely examining the pebbles. Notice how they are different. Notice how they are similar. Feel the weight of each pebble in your hand. Is it smooth or rough? Decide which of these will signify yes, which will be no. Hold your yes pebble and say the word yes to yourself out loud if you wish. Notice how the pebble feels as you say the word. Does it feel warm or cool? Does it seem to have a vibration to you? Whatever you feel is the right thing for you to be feeling, and it is okay if you feel nothing at all. Now do the same with your no pebble. Does it feel the same or different than the yes pebble? Many people have told me they feel a discernible difference in the energies between the two. If you do not, again, that is okay. Once you've gone through this experience, choose a simple yes or no question. Ask your guides. I usually advise people to choose an obvious question like, is the sky blue? But any straightforward question that can be answered with yes or no will work. Holding one pebble in each hand, close your eyes, open your mind, and ask your question. It is my suggested question, is the sky blue? You would feel drawn to the yes pebble. If I had asked, is my name Rufus Rostis? I would feel drawn to the no pebble. As always, it is okay if you feel nothing in the first few or even several times. Often it takes a lot of practice to open your mind to actually feel the pebbles. However long it takes is the right amount of time for you. Once you're able to feel the answers through your pebbles, you are ready to move on to asking questions of your guides. The first few times you try to communicate with your guides, you may feel a little awkward. That is okay. With practice, it will get easier and you will feel more comfortable. First off, you will need a quiet place where you will not be disturbed. Many people prefer going outside, but you can just as easily be inside. You must always begin with the beginning and the first step to communicating with these beings. Center yourself, quiet your mind. Visualize a white light entering the top of your head, continuing down your spine, eventually leaving your body through your feet and going into the ground. Since you are just beginning to communicate with your guide, instead of asking complex answers to complex questions, ask simple yes or no questions at first. Take several deep breaths, clear your thoughts. If you're familiar with meditating, this is what is going on. We're going for here. Get comfortable, close your eyes, and relax. Set a mental intention to communicate with your guides and formulate your questions to yes or no. With a pebble in each hand, ask your question. You should feel drawn to one pebble or the other. After a while, you'll find you no longer need the pebbles in order to receive answers from your guides. Like any new skill that takes a bit of practice. Eventually, you'll become so proficient at seeking answers from your guides in time, you'll be able to simply ask a mental question and receive an answer. Don't be frustrated if this takes a long time for you to do, as there is truly no time limit on learning to communicate with your guides, as they are there for you anyway. Okay? So this is a nice, good example. There's lots of different ways to do it. Communicating with one's guides. I'm sure you have your own techniques and ways, but lots of different ways. Basically, it's just communicating with some being or energetic that we can't see that is somehow assisting us in the process of moving through life. Now, one thing I have to say is there are beings out there that are trickster beings and beings that try to deceive us. So we need to make sure that when we are speaking and communicating with whoever we're communicating with, that we're not pulling in some of these negative entities. So we need to protect ourselves. We need to go into this process making sure that you're surrounded and protected with the white light. That's part of the idea of bringing the light through you. You want to protect and bless yourself, and you want to put out the intention that those who you're communicating with are those who are only there to assist you for your highest good. Okay, you want to state these intentions forth. You want to make sure that you're communicating with someone that's going to be helpful to you. Because just like in life, you can walk down the street, you can meet people who will be helpful to you, and you can meet people who won't be helpful. Well, out in the spirit realms, that is also the case. There are beings out there who aren't necessarily wanting to help. They may try to trick you, whatever the case may be. We just need to know the steps so as to avoid that sort of trickery. It's not too difficult. Again, it's just paying attention because we all have the abilities to understand, to discern right from wrong, good from bad, what feels good from what doesn't feel good. Once we use these skills, we find ourselves having a lot more effect than we once thought we had. All right, here's a channeled message for today. This is from Archangel Gabriel. All right. Maybe, maybe not. Let's see here. Try this again.
Archangel Gabriel Daily Message Wednesday, April 27, 2016. Archangel Gabriel by Shelley Young. Dear ones, did you know that loving yourself actually improves your relationships? When you don't make decisions based on what is best for you, you will experience resentment. There is no energy that will erode your feelings of love faster than resentment. You see, if you make a choice that is not in alignment with how you really feel, you will feel angry and resentful in the action. So automatically you will feel resistance to the activity. You will then be angry at having to do it, and angry at yourself for agreeing to, and angry at the person for having you do it, even though it is something that you agreed to, or even offered. Because you have made a choice that is out of balance with your own needs and feeling that resentment, you will be prone to lash out, making you seem unpredictable and unsafe to the other. Further, that seething resentment will make you feel like you are sacrificing so much for the other, but because you have not been honest about your feelings, you will never feel the level of appreciation you feel you deserve for such efforts. Can you see? All of that is far from love. We urge you to connect with your feelings and truth before you agree to anything. There is always a solution that will honor all. Even if you temporarily disappoint someone by saying no, that is a far better choice than choosing the anger and resentment that are sure to follow a choice that is not made from a place of honoring self. Which do you choose? Anger, resentment, resistant ants and begrudging presence? Or flow, joyful service, balanced and loving presence that supports all involved? Don't you think it's time to make choices that allow everyone to experience your best? Archangel Gabriel.
All right, very nice. Yes, we want to make decisions. We want to be at our best. So, very good, very good. And that brings us finally to our meditation for today. Let's go ahead and close your eyes. Take a deep breath. And exhale. Take another deep breath. And exhale again. And another breath. And exhale. Now let's imagine ourselves walking through the world, walking down the street. And as you walk down the street, you see the world as you imagine it to be each and every day. And as you walk through the world, you look closer at all of the energy around you, and you realize that though you see buildings and streets and a city, as you look closely at the energy, you see that it's just all energy moving in patterns that represent these ideas, but are simply just illusions to something much greater behind them, an idea, a thought, something that was expressed. And so we look at these illusions and we realize that there are things that we see that are real, and those are things that we see that are not real. And our challenge is to decipher one from the other. So we walk through the world looking at things we see with a discerning eye. We pay attention to all the things that we see so as to determine what is real and what is illusionary. And as we do, we find out that things that we may have thought were illusions are actually real, and the things that we thought were real may actually be illusions. And so as we walk through the world today, let that be enough just to explore the energy around us, to see what is real and see what is illusionary. And then once we determine the illusion, that we find a way to look past it by simply being aware that the illusion exists simply on the earthly plane. Yet behind it is the world of spirit, fire, water, and air. And when we understand the reality behind the illusion ceases to be. So let's just imagine ourselves dissipating the illusion by bringing forth the truth of spirit that resides within each one of us. Thank you, Heavenly Mother and Father, for all of the blessings of this day, the blessings of the past and the blessings of the future. May we continuously see through the illusions of the physical reality, that we might understand the oneness and the beauty of your divinity, of the immortal realms. And may our lives be ever blessed by the light of the Christ that shines for each and every one of us. So let's imagine ourselves walking down the path of life, observing, seeing what is real, and seeing what is an illusion. And let that simply be the process today as the subconscious mind continues on that journey. Let's bring the conscious mind back to the present moment on the count of 3. 3, coming back to the present moment filled with confidence. 2, coming back to the present moment filled with faith. And 1, coming back to the present moment happy, healthy, and whole. Happy, healthy, and whole. Take a deep breath. Exhale. And open your eyes. That's it, my friends. That's the show for today. Thank you so much for being here. I'll be back tomorrow. We'll wrap up the week and head on into the weekend, and then finally into a new month. Is that what we're looking at here? Yep, this weekend is it. Sunday is the 1st, so we've arrived at another ending and another beginning. That's just the way it is, isn't it? All right, my friends, you have an awesome day today. I'll talk to you all tomorrow. I love you. Keep loving each other, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace. I'm out of here.